Hi, I'm Zach, this is Chasing Cars, and today we're doing the final part in our series on the Kia Sportage Hybrid long-termer. If you're just joining us, we've already done an introduction and a second part as well, which has explained everything to do with this car, the spec it is, and what we've done over the last 8,000 kilometers and 3 months. If you're interested in watching those videos, feel free to check out the description down below where you can see all the action on the Kia Sportage. In our first wrap-up video, we looked at the interior of this car and 2 of the hits and misses that I thought were good and not so good. However, in this video, we're going to be talking about how Filipe actually drives, its fuel efficiency, and also what it's been like driving day to day. I'll give my final 3 hits and misses, and then I will reach a final verdict on Filipe and whether or not I'm happy or not so happy about handing the keys back to Kia Australia. So we've got a lot to get through, but before we start, make sure you like and subscribe to Chasing Cars. Chasing Cars, honest reviews of your next car. Brought to you by Budget Direct. Hit 3 is that this is a very important model for Kia. It's the first time in the Sportage's 30-year history that it has come with a hybrid system. Now, this hybrid system produces maximum outputs of 169 kilowatts and 350 newton meters. So really, it's not that far off a Volkswagen Golf GTI. It's a punchy unit that uses a 44 kilowatt and 200 newton meter electric motor mounted on the front axle. But the good thing about this car is that it's turbocharged. It's not naturally aspirated. So it's a 1.6 litre engine with a turbocharger fitted. You don't see that in a Toyota RAV4 hybrid. This is also a pretty torquey little unit. With the engine alone, it makes 264 newton meters of torque, whereas a Toyota RAV4 hybrid with its 2.5 litre naturally aspirated engine can only make 221 newton meters of torque. So this is at a definite advantage. But miss number 3 is the price. This thing is not cheap. In top spec GT-Line Hybrid, guys, it's the most expensive Sportage on the market in Australia today. It's priced from $60,500 drive away, which is pretty similar money to what you'd get a Toyota RAV4 hybrid for in cruiser guise. Sure, you get so many good features with this GT line. It looks good, it's well spec'd inside, and it's got some nice features that a family would really like. But I can understand that $60,000 is a lot of money. But there is one good thing. You can get this in a cheaper variant, the SX. SX Hybrid starts at around $50,000 drive away. So hit number 4 for the Kia Sportage is that it's going to be a safe choice for you and your family. This car is really well specified for safety. As standard, it's got about 17 safety features. It's got 7 airbags. It's got a 5-star ANCAP safety rating. And one thing I really like is the fact that it's got blind spot cameras, which are really helpful, especially when you're indicating. You turn them on and the camera turns on and you can see right down the side of the car. It's a little extra feature that you only get on the GT line. So what are these safety features actually like when we get driving the Kia Sportage? Well, for the most part, it's a very quiet experience. There's no binging and bonging and carrying on like we had with our long-term Kia Seltos, for instance. It has a speed limit assist feature, which is just really annoying. You go 1 kilometer over and it bongs at you and carries on, and it just impacts the driving experience. This Sportage, it doesn't have that. The one sort of irritating thing about the safety systems is the lane keep assist. However, you can easily switch that off. I just jump in and there's a little lane keep steering wheel button right there. Hold it down for a couple of seconds and it's off. And then you've got no problems for the rest of your journey. And I'll also note that although the autonomous emergency braking, you don't want it to come on, it has come on a couple of times for me and it's really saved my bacon, to be honest. It's really quite responsive and I think it does a good job at keeping you safe on the road. But for miss 4, it's a big one. This car is only available in front wheel drive. So all the hybrid Sportages that you see on the road, they will be front wheel drive only, which is a little bit of a shame. On a day like today where it's really wet, the roads are greasy and slippery, it's something that I'd like to have in terms of I'd like to have all-wheel drive. I just feel like you'd feel a little bit safer, a little bit more confident and less wheel slip, which is really important. Now, some of this car's biggest rivals, the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid and also the upcoming Hyundai Tucson Hybrid, are available with all-wheel drive for very similar money to what this car is. So for around $60,000, you can get an all-wheel drive hybrid car, but it won't be with the Kia Sportage, unfortunately. We're not sure what will happen in the future in terms of maybe they change the lineup a little bit, they add that all-wheel drive option for the Sportage, but for now, it's the only option. It's also worth noting that having that all-wheel drive grip is kind of important, especially if you're going to be doing camping or going to a music festival or going anywhere that revolves you going on wet grass. I just feel like this system isn't going to be good enough with that front wheel drive to get you out of a tricky situation if you're going to be in it. And a lot of Australians love camping in the outdoors, so this is something you should keep in mind. And hit number 5, well, is that this is a really stellar hybrid system. I've driven a lot of hybrid SUVs, even Kurt's Honda CR-V eHEV or hybrid. And I think this is the best system on the market. Yes, it doesn't have all-wheel drive, but the 1.6 litre turbo engine with the electric motor is just a really smooth and peachy thing. It really is a quiet drive. My parents had a ride in the car with me the other day and they couldn't believe how quiet this car was, even though it still had a petrol engine. But the reality is that when you're driving it and you go from electric mode into the petrol mode, it's so quiet. It really is quiet. It's so smooth in the way it transitions over. And it's also a really punchy unit too, like 169, 170 kilowatts. It's a lot of power. And I think it's perfect for almost every situation, which is a big thing to say, but I'm pretty confident in that. And also on the hybrid system, yes, it's very quiet. Yes, it's pretty powerful, but it's also good on the highway as well. You can see the hybrid system working thanks to these really cool dials like in the instrument cluster. And I love seeing how the battery goes up and down. It's only a small onboard battery. It's only 1.49 kilowatt hours in size, but it's, you know, enough to get the car moving from a stop. It makes it really quiet to drive, and it's also really quiet in the start-stop too. So that's good. But there is a big catch, and that comes down to miss number 5, the final miss, and that is fuel efficiency. Now, for this car being a 1.6 litre turbocharged engine with an electric motor, Kia claims that it will be able to do about 4.9 litres per 100 kilometres combined. Now, we found that in our travels, we were getting much more closer to 6.1. So we did all the long-term logbooks on this car, crunched all the numbers, and we came away with about 6.1 litres per 100, which I just think could have been so much better. For a car of, you know, this stature with a hybrid system, you want it to be efficient. That's one of the biggest selling points of this vehicle. But we also tested a Kia Sportage back in 2022 when this look or generation came out. And back then, the turbo diesel did a 5.7 litres per 100 combined figure. So is this as efficient or less efficient than the turbo diesel? I think it actually might be, which is a bit of a shame. Because that's one of the big things people are going to go for when they buy this car. They want to save money. They want to spend less money at the Bowser, and they want their car to be as efficient as possible. But I think that that is definitely a point to work on in the future for Kia and the Sportage range, especially the hybrid range, is just getting this fine-tuned and really precise and really efficient for the future. But with all that being said, you'll still get around 880 kilometers on a single tank of fuel, which is very handy if you're going to be doing, you know, long distance touring from Brisbane to Sydney or something like that. But one thing is, this car has a pretty small fuel tank. It's just 52 litres in size, which is, you know, not amazing, but it still gets you that 800, 850 kilometers of range, which is great. And the other benefit is you only need to put 91 octane in it or E10. Pretty awesome. So the sad moment in time has come where I have to give the keys for Filipe back to Kia Australia. It's a bit of a sad day because really this is an excellent family SUV. Living with Filipe has been a very easy experience. There hasn't been any creaks, rattles, squeaks, or any problems whatsoever. It's been really easy to live with and an excellent daily companion. Sure, we drove it from all the way to Bendigo, all the way up to the Sunshine Coast. We drove it through the city, we've tested it properly, and at the end of the day, I can thoroughly recommend this Kia Sportage Hybrid to Australian buyers completely. It is an excellent choice. It's got a great hybrid powertrain, it's got a comfortable interior, it's got lots of features, especially in GT line spec. The only real downside is that it could be a little bit more fuel efficient. Sure, it's not too bad, but when the turbo diesel is about the same fuel efficiency, you start to ask questions. This car should be more efficient. So am I going to hand back the keys with a sense of sadness or happiness? Well, I think it's definitely a sense of sadness. This car just gelled with my life really well. It was practical. It was the perfect car for what I needed. And I'm a single guy living in Sydney. I don't have a big family, but I think this would suit heaps of families in Australia in 2024. I'd like to mainly congratulate Kia on bringing an excellent hybrid to market. Thank you for the loan, Kia Australia. And I want to know what you guys think down in the comment section below about the Kia Sportage. Would you buy one over a Toyota RAV4 hybrid? Well, the time is now. There's more hybrid SUVs coming onto the market, and I think this is an excellent time to be buying an electrified SUV. But before I go, make sure you like and subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching Chasing Cars.